Uh. Good evening, Ace fans. Welcome in. I can't do it. They finally got me. Welcome out west to the Sonoma 120 race 5 of 13 here. Are you?
Race 5, we are making up for lost time. We've skipped out on Sonoma because Daytona was more important, and we were there live. It was a great race. Kind of glad we didn't have to do Sonoma, but now we're back. We have to do the mandatory road course for ARS, and they picked Sonoma. I had to buy the track. I don't get paid enough to buy the track, but we're here.
I finally regained my composure, but yeah, like Art said, we're out west here, race 5 of 13. This was supposed to be the second race of the season to get the road course out of the way, but Daytona got pushed back to Monday night. We were down there in person having a good time. The drivers were watching, so there was no point to have a field of 8 people at a road course. So we pushed it back. And, yeah, the race information tonight is as follows. As always, every race this season benefiting the NASCAR Foundation. We're already at 30% of our goal for the season. 2 laps of qualifying to set the field for the 48-lap main event, 120 miles. Fuel capacity 55% gives them an estimated fuel run of 20 to 24 laps. So it'll be interesting to see how the strategy plays out if it's a one-stopper here tonight. 4 total sets of tires. 1 starter, 3 in the pits, 0 fast repairs, and 3 green-white checkers. And I think that's everything. So let's go ahead and get you right into the on-track action. Qualifying underway. They got 10 minutes, so plenty of time for these drivers to get in their laps on the longer road course.
It will be interesting to see. Like, we've seen Bowers dominate at road courses, but in practice so far, dominant drivers have been Cade McClinney, James Fillers up there. Typically, Kyle Ritchie's running good times. Bowers does have a good time.
Oh my goodness! And already before he even gets to the warm-up lap, Cody B. Johnson is trying to get those tires up to temperature. Oh my goodness! So he'll get to reset. Obviously, the warm-up lap pretty long here, so he'll reset entirely and give it another go. But also off track, Jacob Thornton. Cale McClenny has been off track. James Jimmy Fillers has been off track twice. Andrew Tennell. So, I mean, even in qualifying, these guys trying to find the limits. So, there's a lot going on in the early going. Just in these out laps. First time on the board, Alex Chiro, 117.32. Pretty competitive lap time, in all honesty. Sean Anderson off the racetrack. And he'll park it and reset. But let's pay attention here to Brandon Bowers. Up, he had to reset. Never mind.
I'm keeping a close eye on Perrin Huggins. Didn't get a lap in practice, but we have.
Oh, and Bowers not coming out of the pit lane. So yeah, everybody's fighting for their life right now for whatever reason. Perrin is a late entrant. Heard he was feeling a little bit under the weather, but he'll be here tonight trying to go back to back.
I didn't realize he was under the weather, but I still believe he would have a shot of doing well here tonight.
Yeah, I think the road course environment, while it demands a lot of focus, and maybe if you're not feeling as well, it does give you that opportunity if it gets really spread out to just kind of take your foot off the pedal a little bit figuratively, where you got a lot of space in between you and another driver potentially. So, you know, the margins won't be as close here tonight, obviously. And then there's Cade McClenny, 115.9 has him in the provisional pole by 9/10 of a second, nearly a second over Kyle Ritchie. Now let's go on board with him as he navigates the second half of the lap. Heavy braking zone into the final hairpin, and then blasting onto the front stretch. One final left-hander to finish the lap. He is improving his second lap, 115.3. So reclaims the top spot. Fillers, what, 115.7. Let's go on board with Brandon Bowers for the first half of the lap here. Keeping it in fourth gear, up the hill. And immediately into a quick right, almost a blind corner. Keeping it in third to minimize the wheel spin of the rear tires. It looks pretty tight. You see him fighting the wheel though. Third gear, just trying to minimize that wheel spin. We're on the original layout. Up over the curb here. One more heavy braking zone down right before he gets to the S's. He'll try and straight line it as best he can for the early part, trying to carry the speed. Leave it in third gear. Don't want to cut too much of these curbs. You get in the grass, your lap time will be invalidated. Got a mad dash here. High speed section. We saw on board with Cape. Heavy braking zone. All the way down to second gear. And then try and straight line the exit, no wheel spin, and blast to the start-finish straight. And set yourself up for the second lap. But Brandon Bowers' first lap, good enough for third quickest in the 11 machine. Can anyone get close to Cabe McClenny? Aaron Huggins, he was off track, I believe, on the first lap, so he only got one lap. It's a 118.9. Good enough for 14th.
He was able to get 2 laps in. His first one was a 120. I think it is getting to him, whatever it is that he may have.
Just like in real life, you want to get as close to that wall on the exit as you can. Carry all the momentum, all the speed into the S's for the second and final time. Up over the curbs. Back end steps out on him a little bit. You see him working it.
He was slinging that thing.
Absolutely. How are our graphics so smooth? A lot of effort and... Oh! Back end slides out on him again! Down into the heavy braking zone. I think he barely kept it in the margins. If he improves, it'll be because he's using every inch of this racetrack. Brandon Bowers hustling, trying to get onto the front row. Needs about 6/10 to get to second. And his second lap, good enough to do just that, 115.65.
Imagine if it wasn't just trying to run away from him. Woo!
Yeah, great lap, all things considered. He about wrecked twice. But to answer your question, the graphics are smooth just because of all the effort and behind-the-scenes work by myself and Art. And community definitely giving us some valuable tips on what they like to see, suggestions, and it's a total group effort, and we're very proud of how it looks, and we appreciate that you enjoy the look of it. The numbers are supposed to pop up at some point, but they don't for whatever reason, so it'll look even better here in about a minute and a half.
I can't wait to learn this track while we watch it. I'm surprised I didn't own a track on the schedule. So that's the first time it's happened in like a year.
And Cale McClenny just pushing. He's already done his 2 laps, but more practice at a road course, never a bad thing. So every lap, huge.
$31 drivers for a road course is actually kind of insane.
It is.
All the way down to Rudick for president, Pendergrass.
But let's just take a little bit of a...
Ooh, Henschel off the track. Von Henschel.
And Kale will bring his effort to an end there, practice. But this is I believe it's 12 turns. 2.5 mile road course. Just trying to confirm here. And it is indeed 12 turns. What's up with that?
Corbin set the gridding timer to 4 minutes.
Oh, well then. But yeah, 31 drivers here tonight. That's incredible for a road course. Only one on the schedule, so might as well get it out of the way early, and that's what we're going to do. Cabe McClenny on pole. Brandon Bowers in front row. Nothing surprising there. So we got 4 minutes of grid time.
Yeah, he said it was a mistake, and he's not fixing it.
Well, there you go. Let's get rid of the tower for qualifying and bring up the ticker for the race. 48 laps. If you're just tuning in, missed the race information section. Yeah, 12 turns here tonight. And since we got 4 minutes of grid time, let's or who do you think's winning this thing?
I feel like it's just I'm gonna take Cabe McClenny. I'm doing it.
Fair enough. I'll let you go first, and you pick the pole sitter, who's far and away been the quickest in practice and qualifying. I'm going with Brandon Bowers. These guys have just been the class of the field in terms of road course racing, so there you go.
Corbin's taking Kyle Ritchie.
Race control taking Kyle Ritchie. So
if
three picks inside the top 4.
I'm just saying, if we see anything ruling in favor of Kyle Ritchie, you know what happened. Kyle Ritchie starts cutting the track. Shenanigans.
I'm trying to remember the corner names on this track, but I know we got the S's, and we got the hairpin, and then there's a short shoot. But is there anything else that I'm missing? I really don't.
I have no. This is going to be awful for me because I don't know it. Like, I just bought the track.
Fair enough.
So I'm just going to be like, oh, they're making a pass in a corner. Which one? I don't know. This really is going to be awful. Why can't we do something normal like Watkins Glen? I know those corners.
Oh well. We'll give it our best go. 4 minutes of grid time, no excuses for anybody to miss it, and of course we're still waiting on 4 people anyways, but they're taking their full advantage of that extra time. But tonight, if you're just tuning in for the first time, road course racing, totally different than an oval, you know, a super speedway, an intermediate, or a short track. So it's going to get pretty spread out. The guys that have spent more time on this will very obviously show, and they'll be at the front of the field. And a lot of guys, to be blatantly honest, will just hope to keep it on the racetrack if they can. We should see a lot of off tracks tonight. It could get a little messy at times.
I'm going to say this. The biggest problem for at least like the probably top 10 is going to be lap traffic when they start getting those guys who that aren't comfortable here, should say. Trying to navigate that kind of traffic, especially when they themselves are uncomfortable just being on the track, is going to be fun.
So we have the S's, and it's the shoot. There's nothing else. It's just 1 through 12 at that point. So the shoot is turn 4. So remember that. The run down to the yeah.
I don't think I can remember anything about Sonoma other than Dale Earnhardt making a pass through the dirt. And that might not even been Earnhardt.
Yeah, we don't come here a lot, race-wise or broadcast-wise, but I am glad to see it on the schedule for sure. So I'm sure the boys will put on a good race and will deliver plenty of good analysis like we usually do. But it's going to be one long pace lap.
Corbin is right. I know the hairpin because it's the hairpin. It's the only one I'll know for sure.
Turn 12 is the hairpin. Right now they're working their way through the chute.
The chute?
That's what it's called, the short chute. And they're working their way down into, this would be turn 7 as they head on to the S's. So this would be 8A. Yes, I know they have 2 corners that are under, the same number. This would be working their way through 9 and then 9A. And then the final right-hander coming up here will be turn 10. The hairpin is turn 11, and that little kink on the front stretch is turn 12. So that is a rough, very rough lap around Sonoma. Nobody has been off track on the pace lap, so that is good.
Yeah, Corbin's right. I can't count to 12. I only got 10 fingers.
Daniel Pendergrass and Jeffrey Rudick did not grid up, so 29 cars going for this thing.
This field is not bunched up.
Pace car is off, and we're already spread out on the pace lap, but that's just road course racing. Here we go. Cade McClenney through the restart zone, and we're underway. Out west, turning right, green flag in the air, and already Andrew Tenold around before he even gets to the line. And further back, Casey Herring is around. Jacob Thornton off track. Parent, it's complete chaos as they head up the hill through turns 1 and 2. Thornton down 13 spots. Joshua Parent down 14 here in the early going. Let's take a quick look at what happened on this start. There's Tenold getting loose in the background. Parent and Matt Frady shorts into the wall. What in the world happened there? And then Thornton just trying to avoid it, has to loop it. But we head back up front now. The leaders tentatively working their way through. There's Cale McClenney hard into the S's off the racetrack and have to wait on everybody to go by. And a crazy, chaotic opening lap here at Sonoma.
Ooh. That was a dangerous one. He pulled out while cars were too wide right next to him.
And all of that, Cade McClenney ahead by 1.8 seconds over Brandon Bowers as they work through turn 11 in the hairpin for the first time. Von Henschel off the racetrack. Really wide. He's rejoining and blinking. Almost took out a couple of cars. Don't know where he's at on the racetrack. Cade McClenney leads lap number 1. Closest on-track battle right now would be Alex Chira chasing Randy Arms a little bit further back. Jonathan Schwartz way off the racetrack, coming up the hill. Can he get it slowed up?
Ooh,
yes, he can.
That was almost dangerous. It still is pretty dangerous.
A whole host of positions he's lost. Cody B. Johnson a little wide in turn 3 as they head down to 4 in the short chute. Remember, he wrecked in qualifying pretty big. But he did settle down. He started 8th. And at the back, Casey Brown wide. Von Henschel cutting the track. Daniel Pendergrass did start the race from the pits. Probably not the worst idea. Jeffrey Rudick, I do not think started at all. But here on this second lap, it's hard to believe we had so much to talk about in only 2 laps. Bowers has closed the gap to under a second. His teammate Fillers in 3rd. The top 7 is unchanged. Potentially only for a matter of seconds, as there's Alex Shearer and Randy Arms side by side on the front stretch. Not for much longer. Shearer carries that momentum, moves into the 6th position, and you can just tell there's a huge gap. 8th place, having a really solid night in the very early going. Nick Sipple +2.
McElroy gets... No, that's not McElroy. That's another... Is that Thornton? Nope. Travis DeLeon. It's the back marker cars. They all look the same.
And 3 cars just followed each other off track right there. Alex Shearer almost went wide. Randy did, and Nick Simple followed him right over. I was going to say 8th place is now 9 seconds behind the leader. So that's already your field spread. And even from 8th to 9th, there's 5.5 seconds of gap. So you can just tell we don't do this a lot. Nobody does. On the NASCAR side of things, at least.
Cabe probably does.
But the gap coming down even further. So Bowers is a little bit quicker here in this race trim. It's closing the gap right now. The hairpin would be the best passing opportunity on the racetrack. You can outbrake your competitors, and we might see that right here as William Bowman holds on to 12th. Matt Frady and Devin Galvin, they head down to the hairpin. Frady deep on the brakes. He's going to lock it up. Bowman goes a little wide, loses 2 positions in 1 corner, but Frady did technically outbrake him, so it wasn't perfect, but it got the job done. Devin Galvin followed him right through. And already on pit road, Joshua Parent after his first lap incident. Same thing with Von Henschel, although he is now leaving the pits.
Pendergrass has stopped.
So we go back to the battle for the race lead here. Bowers is here, 0.3 of a second.
Pendergrass went around and just stopped it. Ryan Tiller having a little bit of an issue there?
Let's take a look at what happened to Pendergrass. He heads down to turn number 4.
Ooh, Cody B. Johnson just got turned.
And he just put too much on the throttle, spun it around. But back to the battle for the race lead. Bowers is there. Does he use the bumper? Probably not this early. But he has been quicker every lap since the first one. Funny, almost had a 2-second advantage, and now it's down to half a second. Let's look at this mess through the S's. Hang on to it, fellas. Cale McClellan trying to go around the outside at turn 10. Don't think I've ever seen that. Down into the hard braking zone. He's locking it up. But he'll get the move done. 10 onto the inside. And they all kept it straight. That's pretty impressive, I'll be honest. Is it just inside the top 20? Casey Herring is your next up representative, by the way. Getting the invite after a couple of opt-outs from the next-gen drivers, and he started 22nd and picked up 1 spot.
Like I say, we might have beef brewing. Cody B. Johnson was turned by Perrin Huggins, so if those drivers ever get near each other, could be something to watch.
There's Daniel Pendergrass going around, and he'll get it off the racetrack. Cody B. Johnson under massive pressure here from Cale McClellan. And I think he just let him go. He almost got run over a couple of times. Going to try the switchback. Able to do it. And both this 7 machine and the 08, they started inside the top 10, both of them, and they're trying to get back up there after a couple of early incidents. Tenold hustling this 08 machine now, and Ryan Tiller off the track. He goes wide through turn 10. Loses at least 2, probably 3 spots. $26 cars on the racetrack right now, 27th on back. On the pits one way or the other. I think Travis DeLeon, I think he called it.
He is gone.
So now we have 25, so you can tell a couple of guys just started, did a couple of laps, got their points, and said, all right, we're done here. And, you know, if it's that bad, you might as well, you know, take last place points, just get something and move on with your day. Say, hey, I don't want to be a hazard or make anyone mad at me, and I'll just do the bare minimum. Evan Galvin off the racetrack. Ryan Tiller coming right back at him. Tiller blows the corner. Here comes Shorts to his inside. And if you can tell, it's just all about consistency. The admins were talking about it in the pre-race show, and we mentioned it at the top of our show. It's all about the consistency. You don't have to be the fastest man on the racetrack, but if you can just keep all 4 wheels within the lines, you are in position to pick up a lot of spots with very minimal effort.
We have a challenge for the lead. Bowers, he almost got to the inside of Cabe McClellan. He had a big...
He's been hustling them since lap 2.
He had a big run. He tried to send it up the inside. Cabe blocked him to the grass. Was not going to let him have it easily.
I think McClunny knows that he's a bit quicker than him, and if he gets that clean air, he could be gone. And right now, Filler's 4 seconds back. Not really a threat unless these top two start to tangle. So I think McClunny knows the importance of trying to hold him off. But look at the run Bowers gets through the S's, and as they work their way towards turn 10, Bowers is going to be within dive bomb range if he wants it. And you know what? Here we go. What's the movie going to do? He's going to take a peek. McClunny closes the door.
There.
But he gets
they're going to be
little...
side by side on the exit.
McClunny has that inside line. He'll take the position. They work their way up through turn number 1. Bowers desperate to find a way through.
Almost cut through the grass there.
It was a little bit of time. Fillers is catching now. I know he said it was 4+ seconds. He gained a second just by not being side by side with somebody through the hairpin. Almost everybody has been off the racetrack at least once. The guys that haven't: Sean Anderson, Perrin Huggins, Alex Chira, Dylan Failovich, Kyle Ritchie, and your race leader, Cabe McClunny. That's it.
Kind of funny, but one of my favorite things about NASCAR is how it can bring people together from different, backgrounds. Because, I mean, we have Brandon Bowers, who is from Tennessee, has the strong Southern accent, and he just dominates on road courses going up against Cabe McClunny, the kid from California.
Absolutely.
It's like polar opposites just going at it, being two of the best, here.
And yeah, these are by far the best two right now. And let's go on board with Cabe McClunny. Got a unique thing for the road course. He has provided the pedal cam tonight. And so you'll see here the inputs that he's trying to do. Very gingerly. The pedals are just a tad bit ahead, but that's the problem with the feeds. Tell right now he's on the short chute and big, breaking down into turn number 4. He is starting to catch lap traffic. And then just watch him here as he works through. Kevin Boley going to stay clear out of the way of the leaders. But just watch him work the throttle here as he works his way through the S's. A little bit of a couple seconds of flat out, then a little bit on the brake, kind of half and half. It's never really fully one way or the other. And then watch this. Deep braking zone. And slowly releasing it. Don't want to lock up. And then full throttle on the front shifts just for a couple of seconds before you get to that left-hand kink. And that is a lap around Sonoma. Also providing their onboard camera tonight, not the pedal cam, but Andrew Tenold. And we caught him right as he had a big moment through the short chute, but he does hold on to it. Nearly perfect timing.
See the excitement on his face as he had to gather that car up.
He'll be the first to tell you, easily admitting that this is not his forte of racing. And he'll just trying to keep it on the racetrack as best he can and maximize the points haul tonight. As we head back here, Bowers now a second behind. So did he burn his stuff up just a little bit? Trying to find a way around McClunny. About halfway through the first fuel run. It's an ebb and a flow. His last lap, McClunny was 2/10 quicker, so he's starting to find a little bit of rhythm. But just like that, gaps from a second to half a second, just like that. So these two will be in contention all night long. It could come down to the pit stop.
That is true. It is a very long pit road.
And Cale McClunny has had a moment through 4 as he entered the short chute. Lose 1, 2, maybe 3 spots. He's to the inside of William Bowman. And Poor Cale McClellan, he's the number 7. He's lost 7 spots, and he's been off track 7 times. So it's not the lucky 7s like you would think.
Ooh, McElroy going a lap down.
And he'll just let the leaders race it out. He's only been off track 1 time, but he's just slow and steady wins the race. Casey Herring, same thing, started in the 22nd position, and he had to bail out there, locked it up into turn 11. Loses the spot maybe to Cody B. Johnson. I was going to say, he's up 5 spots. Primarily just because he hasn't been off the racetrack.
And like you said, consistency.
They will forgive him for the mixed-up number. He is a next-up driver, so he was hastily assigned to this session. So we'll give him a pass on the numbers. Joshua Parent spent 4.5 minutes on pit road. He's back out there now.
Ooh, we might have another challenge for the lead here. Bowers, he was looking to the inside.
Yeah, like it's an ebb and a flow. 2 laps ago, McClellan started to stretch that lead back out to a second. One mistake is all it's going to take for McClellan to open up the door. If he just goes a tad bit wide, locks it up, Bowers will sail right on through.
And you've got to wonder if this pressure, we've seen both the Jughead boys and Cabe have their issues on pit road. If this kind of, like, if you're feeling pressured, you know, to make that stop perfect, it could just make it worse.
Absolutely, but right now, both these drivers putting on an absolute clinic.
Oh, Bowers, he almost loops it. He saves it.
Whew, man, that is probably the quickest we've ever jinxed somebody, and there goes Fillers through to second. Bowers loses 4.5 seconds there with that slide.
And that's going to be those tires just gone.
Potentially ruined for the rest of this run. And he just takes a little bit too much curbing. Just a tad bit too much. By the time he gets it rocked and rolling again, Fillers jumps to the inside. And Cabe McClellan can breathe. For how long? Does Bowers have anything left? Can he get back by his teammate and tries to close that gap in?
I mean, Fillers just got loose in front of Bowers, so
yep.
Fillers, he's going to give it up to him.
They've already saw no reason to fight that hard as teammates, but we head back here. There is a lot of lap traffic right ahead of your leader, though, so this could easily put Cabe under some pressure again as we'll go on board. He's running 115s. The guys that he's about to put a lap down, 119s to 121s, so a massive difference in pace.
And they're all racing for
I was about to say this. They don't want to give it up because they're still fighting for position. On Anderson,
like they're
really wide.
For potentially top 20 positions there. Thornton's going to pull off to the side.
Yeah, Thornton, the last in that train, says, "You know what? I'll fall in behind. You make them slow down, and I'll follow you through. Maybe." But look at the difference in speed here. He's going to try and clear him as quick as he can. We get through Sean Anderson. That's 21st place a lap down. Cale McClellan off the racetrack, about to get lapped by his brother here in a couple of laps. Casey Brown's been pretty respectful. I think I know his stance on road courses. He won't put up too much of a fight. 05 outbreaks him, heading towards the short chute. Ooh! And that was a snap right there from McClellan. As we have now 19 cars on the lead lap. Andrew Tennell, the next one, in danger. But I think Andrew Tennell, I think he'd be thrilled with the top 20 at a road course out of 31 drivers. I think he'd be very happy with that.
He's already ahead of him, but Perrin Huggins just dropped due to upload packet loss. So less competition.
So that would bring us, that would be a free spot for Joshua Parent if he can complete 3 more laps. And that would give us 25 cars still in the running. Right now, closest battle on track, Cale McClellan on Casey Herring. These guys have been back and forth. Cale has some decent speed, but he has been off track already 8 times. Some worse than others, and he's down 6 spots from where he started in 9th. He is all over the back of him. There's Chris Pinder just ahead of him, very loose. And look at the move from Cale McClenny, picking up a 2 for 1. That was pretty tidy.
A little 3 wide action at Sonoma.
He picked his spot well there. Well held from Pinder, might add. That he could have very easily looped it directly in front of him, but he was able to just hold on to it and get that 17 machine straightened out. That brings a couple more guys into the battle, and then Cade McClenny again having to work through some more lap traffic.
Able to get around 10 old.
It's Lucas Reed directly in front of him. He's +6 in the 18th spot. Now 1 lap down. This is allowing Bowers to catch up, though. He's gained a 2nd in the last couple of laps, especially as these guys on the tail end of the lead lap battle side by side.
And there really is going to be no shame in going a lap down here. Like, it's going to be like, oh, I went a lap down. It's a lap down to Cade McClenny at Sonoma. He's probably going to get the top 10, if not a little bit.
Oh, he'll easily get the top 10. I think he'll get up to 8th at the current pace, assuming he doesn't have any problems. Knock on wood, he's drove a great race so far. But current pace, I think he'll lap up to 8th. And Pinder lets him go by as they go down the hill. So he's navigated that section, and now it's Brandon Bowers' turn to try and find a way through. And again, all these guys are racing for position, like you said. So Bowers makes a big dive. Almost into William Bowman, so that time he just gained. He loses a little bit back. And he still has to get through a couple more cars. Cade McClenny has to get through Casey Herring. But he's going to catch him at a pretty good spot. Heading into the heavy braking zone. We expect Herring to probably not put up too much of a fight as the next up driver. He doesn't quite catch him, actually. The 05 pretty good on the brakes. Will Herring let him go as they head to turn number 1? We'll see.
So far, not. There it is.
And Herring said, you know what, I'm sitting here 14th right now. I haven't been off the track. It's a perfect day for me. I barely got invited to this race 10 minutes before the qualifying started, so he's put on a very respectable effort. Here's the first green flag pit stop of the night that makes sense. And it's Randy Arms on lap 17. He actually hasn't made it to lap 17 yet. That was just Cade McClenny. And that was a fuel-only stop for Randy Arms, and he's back out. And he will only lose 1 spot. That's how big the gaps can get here. But I tell you what, though, the gap back to Brandon Bowers, 2.7 seconds. There's no lap cars in between them. Never mind, now there is. Joshua Parent goes really wide, gets out of the way. But Bowers is hustling. Yet again, somehow, has the tires even after that slide. Kyle Ritchie is now in. Unique pit road entrance here as well. As there's the commitment line. Velvet and Shearer also in. So that's a TTSL trio right there coming in.
Last lap would have put him on pole in qualifying.
Easily. 1:15.28. That is 9/10 of a second quicker than what Cade McClenny just did. Holy cow.
Tires might not matter.
They absolutely don't. Not on a road course. I know they don't matter a whole bunch, but Bowers had a little bit of a slide too, so he's putting a little bit more wear on him, you would think. But even then.
I mean, he's still running qualifying time.
Yeah.
He is hustling, as you've said.
And he was almost out of the race entirely. I mean, he had to put a heck of a piece of driving in there to just hang on to the thing. He very easily could have overcorrected, and here's a laughing moment between the McClenny brothers. Older brother lapping the younger brother. I'm sure they'll take that politely and we'll have a nice little laugh about it. And there's Nick Sipple losing it right in front of Bowers. He'll back it up. He's got one more car coming. Then he can get on his way. Maybe not. Oh, man. Tiller having to check up. Cody B. Johnson having to check up. But they do escape cleanly.
I mean, Sybil did like the best that he could in that situation. The fact that he backed it up there, great thinking.
Yeah. So now, the only car in between Cade McClenny and Brandon Bowers is the younger McClenny brother. So I don't think he's going to let him through too easy. Pinder having a moment there out of turn 4. Still, this pack here, they are not giving it up. This is actually really close racing for the most of the race so far. And down into the heavy braking zone. Who's going to brake latest? It looks like it'll be Tiller trying to get to the inside of Lucas Reed, and he'll do so. And he will not be clear on the exit.
Brandon Bowers once again ran a faster lap.
1:15.2, and he's a little wide though, so he is hustling. And he has caught the younger McClenny brother. I am very interested in how this goes.
Should say Cabe has also picked up the pace. He was running a 1:15.5.
Oh yeah, he did not make it easy. They're side by side through the S's. Yeah, he didn't make it easy. Probably worth a tenth or two there, but he is clear, so no big controversy. And the gap back to nearly 4 seconds, but again, no, they now have clean air between them. If you're Brandon Bowers, oh, he's coming in, as is McClenny, so they're going to follow each other in. Don't speed. You hope that your pit crew is a little bit better at putting the fuel in the car. Right at the 20-lap mark. A couple guys came in earlier, but there they are. There's your top two. I think Tiller is absolutely sending it into the hairpin again. Yes, he is. Still not able to clear Lucas Reed, though. Bowers stops in the box. And McClenny is away. Has number 1 pit stall. So
it's going to bring the lap traffic back into it even more.
Absolutely. So Bowers' pit stop was about half a second quicker, but pit lane time still in the favor of McClenny by 0.2. So Bowers had a better pit stop, but on and off of pit road, McClenny 0.2 quicker.
I just want to say, because you talked about Tiller going hot into the hairpin, that was where I made all of my passes in the old NASCAR games.
Absolutely.
Total team control. You think I was using brakes? No, I was using the side of your car.
8 tires turn better than 4, and McClenny again having to deal with heavy lap traffic. These guys haven't pitted yet. So they're on the lead lap. They're still fighting for tail end lead lap positions, so they can go a couple more laps on fuel. But that brings Bowers right into it, and Bowers actually might get a little lucky here because McClenny's having to do all the hard work as these guys are about to pit in the next lap or so, so Bowers might have a free run at him and not have to deal with the lap traffic. I do not trust gas station food. No, I do not.
Your opinion's wrong.
Okay. Well, what kind of gas station food? If it's gas station sushi, then like no.
Like, but if we go to Casey's,
well,
like
that's not even like that's not even a gas station though. Like,
but it is a gas station.
I mean,
it would be like and Buc-ee's too.
You pump gas there, yes, but it's not like
it's a gas station.
Okay. Gap now 3 seconds between your leaders, so lap traffic playing a factor, as it tends to do at these races. And there's Bowers just a couple car lengths behind. The ebbs and flows, especially with another pit stop yet to be made.
Do you trust the food at 7-Eleven?
Yes, I probably would. If we had a 7-Eleven, I'd probably frequent it often.
Like, I was the big three. Like, I know there are others popping up recently that are doing food really well, but Casey's, great gas station food. Marathon
pizza.
with the Chester's chicken. Like,
that's our
really
Parker's here. They literally on the front of the building. It doesn't just say Parker's anymore. It's Parker's Kitchen. Like that's what they've rebranded to. And I would trust them with a lot.
and Buc-ee's, which is just a mega store that sells gas.
Absolutely. So the only guys that haven't pitted yet: Matt Frady, Devin Galvin, Cody B. Johnson, Andrew Tennell, William Bowman, and Casey Brown. Actually, a lot of people haven't pitted yet.
Oh, these drivers are not making it easy on Bowers. Tiller not moving. Doesn't have to move, but...
Hey, I wonder how that dynamic plays out. You're like, hey, I let the leader through, and that is Thornton off the track, I believe. It is. He'll back it up. Very responsible thing to do. But again, he's got over... Kevin Boley just now getting the start-finish line, so that's who he's racing. He's got plenty of time to gather it up. And about a 45-second lead over 23rd, so you can take your time and don't worry about it. Matt Frady finally comes into pit. As Jonathan Schwartz has had a moment in the last 3 minutes. Whole front clip is gone. Let's see if we can find out what happened to Mr. Schwartz. Yeah, that's just a lot. There's a lot going on. There's at least 3 or 4 people off track every lap. Closest battle on the track, though. Battle for 5th place. Randy Arms chasing after Shira and being chased by Feldich. So a good night for the TTSL boys for sure. They are currently 4th, 5th, and 7th. So an outstanding team result.
Yeah, that's a big part of, as we say, consistency. They just don't make a ton of mistakes. They aren't necessarily the fastest, but they're also good at avoiding, the whole going off the track. I say it. Gail McClay. He's not having a great time out there.
Jacob Thornton, we saw him just a second ago off the racetrack. Pretty significant left front damage there. Oh, and he caught a bump on the front stretch. Bad place to be stopped, right under the flag man. Didn't throw the caution. And he'll do the responsible thing and tow, even at the cost of his race. Gap now pretty stable at 4.5 seconds. Bowers has only Nick Sipple to get through, and then he can try and somehow close down the gap. 24 laps to go, halfway. We finish this lap. Chris Pinder off the racetrack. William Bowman off the racetrack. I just want to see if I can catch them as they happen. But McClenny with a statement. First man into the 114s in qualifying or race trim. 114.6. He has turned it up another level. Casey Brown with a big dive bomb there on Tennell. That's for 16th. Casey Brown is your biggest mover. He was plus 11, but Tennell did the crossover move out of the hairpin. How about this? Randy Arms has caught Alex Drew. This is the battle for 5th. There's Failovich right there.
You know how you mentioned that it would be pretty easy for Cabe to lap up to 8th? It's a couple laps from happening.
He will get maybe, he'll get 8th. That was a bang on in my prediction right there. Kevin Boley taking a little scenic route there.
I think Failovich is going to be a little too consistent for him to get, but if they make some mistakes.
Right. So, I nailed that prediction. My goodness, that felt good. But there's lap traffic, and it's very subjective. Gilroy lets him go. Back to this point, though. I was going to make it right before we had an off track. But if you're a lap down car, you let the leader through very respectfully. All right, quicker than me. Do you even care about second or third at that point, or is it just another car? It's like, hey, I let the leader through. I've done my due diligence. Do you even bother to let anyone else by?
It really becomes an issue if there are a lot. Because at that point, why are you racing if you're just letting everyone through? But you got to be respectful. If you can give them their chance to make it through very easily, that's one thing. You just don't want to sit there fighting, you know?
Yeah, that's a good point. Especially because it's like, if 6th place is catching you, not like insanely quick, but and he's not racing anybody, then, you know, you can't pull over every single time someone else is by you, so. But if they're racing each other, I'd probably let them go.
Yeah.
Let's go on board with Randy here into the heavy braking zone, as that is Cody B. Johnson making a pit stop. Cale McClenny is your off-track leader at the moment at 12 times off-track. Simple, little wide. That's his 8th time off the racetrack. But he's in 9th, so it's a solid run for him. And Cale McClenny, he's been off the track 12 times. Some of them he's been fully spun around and facing backwards. He's in 13th. Just imagine if you could even cut that in half, he'd have an easy top 10. Bowers is now 5 seconds behind your race leader. Kevin Boley yet to make a stop, and I think he's the last one that is still running. Speaking of Kevin Boley, a little wide there through turn 10. Casey Brown a little wide through turn 3. Andrew Tennell trying to close as a result. CMS affiliates going at it right here. Sean Anderson, William Bowman. Cale has front end damage. Well, I imagine if you've been off the track 12 times, you pick up something along the way.
I was gonna say that's the least surprising bit of information I've received today.
So it makes sense why the car would be unstable. A little bit of a lock up there. 21 laps to go. He's out there battling though. 12 times off the racetrack, and he's still going. He's 12th place right now.
It just what comes with being, the little brother. He has all the aggressiveness of Cabe, but not, necessarily.
He hasn't refined it yet. Hasn't honed it in yet.
Yeah,
but he's definitely got a lot of raw potential there. Pinder.
Second coming of Kyle Busch here.
How about big shout out to Devin Galvin? He's running 11th right now. Gained 7 spots. Definitely an improvement on his average finish so far through 4 races. So he's having a solid night. Andrew Tennell in the top 15 is thrilled.
I was going to say, Devin Galvin, I know for a fact he does not like road courses.
Oh,
he has had
Matt
some bad
Frady,
experiences.
Way out in no man's land, over the hill. What happened to him is he was going up through turn 1, just never got it woed up, carried so much speed, then overcorrected. Wow.
That was a dangerous whip there.
Yeah. He didn't lose a position. It's the best thing about that. He's like, wow.
It's not far behind.
And Nick Sipple has closed in a ton. But Matt Fraser's like, you know what? I did all that. Took a little sightseeing tour. I'm still 8th. So get it out of the way, and hopefully you can move on. Tell you what, though. Bowers is not quite done. He just went 0.3 quicker on that last lap.
They're running 114s.
Yeah, that was a 114.6 from Bowers. He is basically committed to, you know what? I am running qualifying laps every lap, and I'll see if I can catch him. It's a lot of lap traffic, a lot of unknowns. 20 laps to go. Why not, right? Let's see if we can catch him. He's 11, almost 12 seconds ahead of his teammate. So, right, if you have a little spin, you most likely keep second anyways. So why not go for broke? William Bowman there a little wide. Randy Arms is starting the final sequence of green flag pit stops here from the 6th position. The final fuel window is open. They have made it. No cautions at a road course unless it was, they all wrecked on lap 1, turn 1, and blocked the track. But it is going to be caution-free, and race control really looking for anything in terms of, like, blinkers or any sort of intentional wrecking, but
Yeah, if we see anyone fly into the final hairpin like I used to do, probably be out of here pretty fast.
Like if Cody B. Johnson didn't break and just corner bomb Casey Brown, then he'd be done. But he's gonna, he's gonna work for it. He's obviously not gonna do that. But that's really about the only thing Race Control has to do tonight. But yeah, the ebbs and flow was down under 3 seconds, nearly 3.5. Now it's back up to 4.5. So it's just, it's an ebb and a flow. This is the closest battle right now we're watching. Devin Galvin under pressure from Casey Herring. They head to turn number 11. Herring gonna take a peek at it late. Cale McClenney trying to get back up there in this battle. Randy is the only one that made his final pit stop. Everybody else can easily make it from here on. We'll just see when they do it.
Every now and then I get the thought in the back of my head to ask just the dumbest question of, would they take tires? And I have to remember, no.
How about this, though? The 95 and 23 closest battle. They're mirroring each other, even off track. They're racing off the racing surface, even. And here comes Cale McClenney.
And Rod Car.
So those two going off the track, and Cale McClenney's right there. Three-way battle for 11th. Alex Chira going to come in. Kyle Ritchie didn't get the memo, or Dylan Failovich. Last time they pitted together. Not this time, though. I'll be very curious to see what happens here into the heavy braking zone of turn number 11. The hairpin. Cale's got a great shot at it if he wants it. Oh, he's going for it. Beautiful on the brakes there from Cale McClenney.
Devin, a little lockup. Ooh.
They almost gave it right back on the exit. But that's Cale McClenney to 12. Chira is in. Down and away, only 6.5 seconds. Just enough fuel to make it to the end. Brandon Bowers, I believe, has had a moment. 8.5 seconds back now, yes. He just went a little wide. But that... Let's see how that loses in 4 seconds, but interesting. Cal Ritchie is now in. But I think Cabe McClenney can start to relax just a tiny bit.
I don't believe there's any relaxing if you've got Bowers behind you. I don't care how far behind he is.
All he's got to do, though, is make that final pit stop and then just try and be as consistent as you possibly can. Lucas Reed, you can see there, he's got a decent excursion there. Kyle Ritchie, final pit stop. The top three are unchanged from where they started. It was very close to changing, though, a couple of times, at least for the lead. Bowers was behind Fillers for probably half a lap after he had that big incident. Then he got right back by him. But the top three looking to finish where they started. And this is the best battle on track right now. Still for 11th.
Just gotta say, what a fumble by Corbin picking Kyle Ritchie over James Fillers. Should have known.
Nick Sipple wide, Wade Bowman wide. And Nick Sipple, sorry, I'm just gonna come in a pit.
Almost had us picking 1, 2, and 3. I mean, Kyle Ritchie could still do it. Okay. Probably won't.
I'm excited to see what Cale does on the brakes here. He got past Devin Galvin, or excuse me, Casey Herring. He's trying to get past Devin Galvin. And if he can get maybe a 10th through the S's, then I think he'll go for it. Oh, he's there. He's going to go for it. But he's in the dirty air. He had to step out just for a second. You see him working the wheel. Devin goes defensive. Oh. Trying the crossover.
Didn't have the momentum. This might get a little spicy.
This is by far the best battle on the track. Is up through one. Oh, and that ain't gonna work, fellas. And Devin Galvin barely holds on to it. Cale McClellan, that really wasn't his fault. Devin Galvin, he was just feeling the pressure. Let's take another quick look at it, and he just sails it off. And Casey Herring says, "Thank you very much, fellas. I'll take the 2 for 1." And I imagine Cale McClellan, if he gets back to... Oh, man. And that's a... Oh, yeah. All right. Commentator's curse. Strikes again. But I think Cale McClellan is going to remember that then. I don't know if he'll get him back this race, but I think he will remember that. Casey Herring says, "Thanks, fellas. I have 3 seconds ahead now, and hopefully I can have a chill last 14 laps or so." The gap has pretty much stabilized at 8 seconds. Next closest battle, we've said this a couple times. Randy Arms chasing after the TTSL boys. And that's Jonathan Schwartz on the brakes at Brendan Bowers. Just no contest right there. So let's take a look. Devin Galvin. Big slides. Ryan Tiller trying to close. I keep going off track for me. The top 4 still have not made their final pit stop. Well within the range. So let's take a look at who hasn't been off of the racetrack tonight. Kyle Ritchie, Alex Chira, Sean Anderson, and Perrin Huggins, but he dropped due to his connection. But in the 12 laps that he did do, he was not off the racetrack. Only 4 people. One of them not running due to, obviously, the internet issues, but essentially it is 3 people.
That is... I wouldn't be on that list, let's just say that.
No, I would lose at lap 1. No, actually, I would do the first lap very tentative on purpose, but lap 2, I'm off the racetrack. Guaranteed. $12 laps to go now in the Sonoma 120. Cabe McClellan, dominant. Looking to go flag to flag here. He has, in fact, lapped up to 8th. With 7 cars on the lead lap. I am spot on with that prediction. Driver update for redemption for Brandon Richard. Not here tonight. Not here. I don't think he wanted to be here with the road course, so...
Really blame him either.
No. And Randy, he has been stalking Chira for about the last 15 laps. Right at that half-second margin. And really the difference right now in that half a second, Randy Arms has been off the track twice. Alex Chira has not been off the racetrack tonight. And that is the difference.
I'm hearing somebody lose it.
I believe that was Ryan Tiller. Through the... Oh yeah, just carried way too much speed. Does a nice job locking it down. Right in front of your leader. I'm sure Cade was like, really? It's not. Brendan Bowers just refuses to quit though. 1:14.49. He's gone even quicker. He's closed the gap from 8 seconds to 6.5. Just refuses to go away. If there's a bobble or a problem, or lap traffic or anything, Bowers can be there on the scene pretty quick. Elvich is in for his final stop. But it'll just be a splash and go for your top 5 here. Valovich is out, and he'll try and track after Randy. I wonder if Alex will try and slow him up a little bit and let Valovich get back into contention. Casey Herron looking to get that top 10. And he hasn't pitted yet, neither has Devin Galvin. So actually Tiller would be in contention for that top 10. But still a great effort nonetheless. Really good efforts from Matt Frady and Nick Sipple as well. Gap's now under 6 seconds, so working through a little bit of lap traffic here. It'll be single-digit laps here once we complete this one.
I mean, he was going about, like, if he can get lap traffic a second faster, but it'll be a close one.
He has to gain essentially half a second per lap, which he did on that last lap. There'll be at least one lap where both of them are making a pit stop, so it's kind of a moot point. And that lap is not this one, or either of them. They both pitted on lap 20. Same thing for James Jimmy Fillers, pitted on lap 20. Curious if Kyle Ritchie would be able to get Fillers once Fillers comes in to make that stop. It'll be close. And that could be the battle for the podium spot there. Randy's still right here. This is really the only battle within a second right now. It is the only battle within a second on the racetrack, so this vintage road course right now. Let's go on board with Randy here in the last couple of laps. Got a lap traffic ahead of him. Wonder if this impacts anything as they head towards the hairpin. Gap's pretty consistent from both of them. If Randy's just a little bit closer on that last lap, you have to imagine he wants to make us go for it.
We're going to see some of just the most insane laps coming out here in the next couple laps.
You see it right here. Randy is just on the wheel. You got to crank it up, Redemption, on a road course. I don't know how much you'll get out of it, but I'll try. Final pit stop of the night for your two leaders. They are both in. Fillers also coming in. Looks like a pretty clean entry for McClenny. He is down and away. Brandon Bowers sees him just for a second, gets right up behind him, and he's away again. Cade McClenny 2/10 quicker in the pit lane, so a statistical wash. And the gap is 6 seconds with just 7 laps to go. And it looks like Kyle Ritchie gets within 7 seconds, but not able to pressure James Filler. So it looks like your top 3 are pretty much set. Really, 4th place is set. 5th place is yet to be decided. This has been going on for a minute. Velvet's right there if something happens. Appreciate the gifted sub. And everything else, no contest for 8th. 9th at the moment settled. Tiller 7 seconds ahead, so if there's a mistake, Galvin could get it back. Maybe could it be Johnson? So a couple guys at the back here. Just have to keep it on the racetrack for the last couple of laps. But really the top 10 pretty much settled. And that's typical, of course. That's not unexpected. But great battle here for what will be the last spot in the top 5. So that's where our attention will be. William Bowen making his last pit stop of the night. I think Lucas Reed has to pit, and so does Devin Galvin. So there'll be a couple swaps here and there. With 6 laps to go, coming to 5. Gap is comfortable at 6.8 seconds. Let's go quickly show you the Andrew Tenold onboard cam again. Just want to see, give him his due. We caught him that one time right as he spun out. Just want to see he's got a top 15. It's a strong night for Tenold, following up a 3rd place at Bristol last week. Give him his due. He has recovered well from that.
I say nice to see someone else also having to wear a hoodie indoors because it's freaking cold in the Midwest right now.
It's 82 degrees here today, bud.
Can't wait to move.
And then let's closing stage here. Cave McClenny.
Speaking of which, we need more,
Pedal cam.
gifted subs. No, we need more gifted subs so I can afford moving down to Georgia. Make my dreams come true.
But the cable management needs work, Cabe. You drove a flawless race, but the cable management could use some work. That's about my only advice. Got the RBG in the PC case, so there you go.
What?
Yeah, we got the multicolored lights and stuff.
Yeah, what you call it? RBG?
RGB, I don't know. It's been long. It's been a long week, all right?
No, it hasn't.
It's only Monday.
It's Monday.
It's been a long week. But thank you to Kay McLean and Andrew Tenold for providing their onboard cams. Tenold, obviously not the pedal cam, but still just as valuable. We saw him working it, and this could be Randy's best shot as they're catching heavy lap traffic. And by heavy, I mean it's just right in front of you, nowhere to go. At the worst possible spot in the S's, it's one lane through here. Devin Galvin did overtake Cale McClenny for the most off tracks at 17. He just got that. Cale, right before he went off, 16. Devin Galvin now holds the lead. And probably something he didn't want. That's how crazy this race is right now. Nick Sipple is 8th. He just got lapped by 5th and 6th. So that shows you the disparity in pace at road courses. Gap 7.8 seconds, 7.5. It is comfortable for McClenny. Coming to 3 laps to go here in the Sonoma 120. 83 finally yields away for his final stop of the night. Maybe Sean Anderson has to pit. It'll be close.
Gabe has really started turning on the burners. He's gotten down into the 114s running away.
But Brandon Bowers does have the fastest lap. And I don't think McClenny will be able to take that away. And I don't think he needs to try. Because he say, hey, I got a 114.6. That's great. That's super fast. But do you risk it trying to find 2/10 and potentially loop yourself around? I don't think it's worth it.
It's definitely not. I think he's got the
That
stable
is,
lead for
that is
a
a qualifying
laps.
lap plus what Bowers did. Like that is, and just to speak of it, Bowers 114.9 his last lap. James Fuller's in third, 118.5. So he didn't even go off track. He just had to, woe it up a couple times. But he is coming to 2 laps. He'll lead flag to flag here. That doesn't happen often, but if it was going to happen, it would be at a road course. And your pick to win, by the way, solid.
It was probably the easiest pick of the year. There were 2 people to choose from, and
Yep. I'll let you pick first.
Yeah.
You've given me a couple other softballs, so I'll return the favor.
I let you pick an LSRL every week.
Mm-hmm. So I'll give you this.
And he was dominating. Why can't I remember his name? Because we haven't done it.
And we take a couple weeks off, and it just flies right out.
Got to move on to like all the other things we do, but yeah.
How do you not know who it was, though?
Because I have such
Mark Whitley season for LSRL. Dominant.
See, he doesn't put nightmares in my head like he does other drivers, okay?
Devin Galvin. Will he reach the 20X? The 20 off tracks. It's more than that, especially if he gets a couple 2Xs. Lost control of that 2X. Brutal. Oh, Tenham did have to come in. Actually, Sean Anderson might make it on fuel. He stretched it a little bit. Tenold not able to do so. Sipple off the track. Matt Frady trying to push. An artificial battle for position. Frady will take the spot away. So late pass there. Just like I said, that's 4 or 5 seconds. You're not out of the clear if you go off the racetrack. And Kay McClenny has taken the white flag. Race is official. 3 drivers have gotten lap times in the 114s as their best lap, and it is unsurprisingly your top 3.
You're telling me the good drivers are good?
And Kate McClenny will work through the S's one more time. Got, oh, and Bowers finally makes a big mistake. Let's take a look at how it happened. And just carried too much momentum, and he'll have a nice little loop. Kay McClenny solid through the S's. One more heavy braking zone into turn 11, the hairpin. And it is flawless. And one more left-hander, turn 12, pretty much flat out. And Kay McClenny, flag to flag, dominant, picks up his first win of the season here at Sonoma. And he gets the fastest lap, 114.49. That's a statement if I've ever seen one. And then Matt Frady on the last lap blows his engine. Nick Sipple goes back by. Matt Frady, what happened? Just, left rear in the dirt. He didn't blow it entirely. He's able to keep going. He'll putt around. Bowers second. And here comes Failvich, the last car on the lead lap, to finally officially close this race out. And that is it. Frady trying to work his way back. I think he still has to cross the line. I think it finally blew, but I think McClenny going to help him out. But how about that? With the margins as they are, I don't know. It depends on when the lap cars take the line and stuff, but most of them are heading in, so the race is over. Matt Frady will finish it out, though. Nick Sipple says thank you very much. McCabe McClenny gonna burn it out on the drag strip. A lot of people would have preferred a drag race here tonight, I'm sure.
I mean, it looked that way early on.
It was going to be a dead heat at one time. Appreciate Cody B. Johnson for the raid. Solid 11th place tonight for you, sir. Yeah, he's going to burn it down all the way through the drag strip here. But that is a flag-to-flag win, and you would not have guessed that in the first handful of laps. Gabe McClenny, he had 2 top 5s in the first 4 races, now picks up his first win of the season in the 5th race here at Sonoma. And he's probably wishing there were more road courses on the schedule, but nevertheless, he'll take it. He is quick everywhere, but especially at these road courses. Let's go ahead and get him in here for his race-winning interview. And yeah, there he is. Here with Cabe McClenny. Dominant win tonight. Nothing really much else you could say about it. You had to work for it, though, in the first handful of laps right before that first pit stop, but after that, it was just kind of consistency and keeping it in between the racing lines.
Oh yeah, that was like I said, pre-race consistency was going to be key, and Bowers was definitely quick at the start. I was trying to conserve the rears. A lot of corners I was exiting in second, so I was just trying to make sure the rears were still on. At the end, I saw him get sideways and lose a few, and knew that was kind of going to hurt his tires. So he was definitely a little bit better at the start and was quick, but just able to save tires, stayed on track the whole time, and was able to come home with a win.
Yeah, absolutely. Got pole, quickest in practice, fastest lap here in the race, and obviously lead every lap. So it's kind of like, what do they call it in F1? The Grand Chelem, like the absolute,
Yep.
You maximize the result as much as you possibly could. So that's definitely got to feel good and give you some momentum as we head towards the midway part of the season.
Yeah, definitely. The only thing I missed was instant count. I got it on lap 44. I got 1. I was like, damn. So that's kind of the only thing I missed. But other than that, Sonoma's my favorite road course. I've been here a few times helping an ARCA car, so I love this road course. It drives like a short track, so I think that's why I was good at it. But overall, pretty good race, and yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, well earned, and we'll let you get any shout-outs in if you have any.
Yeah, just thank you guys for doing the broadcast. Everybody was actually really clean and pretty good all race, so that was cool. All lappers let everybody go, so that was actually really cool. But Nick, Kel, Matt, forgot anybody else in the race. I don't think anybody else was in it, but Bowers, Fillers, good run, and check out my YouTube, KO5.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Finally got one.
So let's get him. Let's actually just do it. Let's do the Jughead. I got 2 3s, so we'll give them their due. Here with the Jughead boys. Solid result tonight, 2-3. Bowers, anything else you could have done to stick with Kay McClendon tonight?
Not right, dude. That's it. That's literally the only thing.
But yeah, in that early stint, arguably you were quicker than him, just couldn't find a way through. Had a couple of good looks here and there. And then we saw you potentially save the night. Sideways through turn 10, heading towards the hairpin. Nearly could have put it in the wall, but able to save it. And you fell out 4.5 seconds back, and then it was just kind of, you'd be quicker for a lap or two, then he'd, pick the pace back up, and then you kind of be equal, and then just kind of a back and forth the rest of the night, not able to really get those 4 seconds back one way or the other.
Yeah, I was like 10 seconds back at one point, and then I cut it down to like 5 or 6, dude, and I wrecked again and lost another 5 seconds. I don't know. I mean, it was faster, but like, I don't know. It would have been cool just to have clean track, just see what would happen.
Yeah, just try and keep them in touch, and obviously as the lap traffic, anything could happen, but
yeah,
it is what it is. You've already got to win this season, and another podium to go with it. So it's a really strong start to your season 5 races in.
Yeah, I guess.
Absolutely. And then Jimmy Fillers, solid podium. Those boys were up there kind of doing their own thing, and you did your own thing in third most of the night. Pretty boring third place, but you'll take them when you can get them.
Yeah, I'm just not as wasn't as fast as those boys, but I just kind of minded my own business and kept her clean, dodging lap cars and setting semi-fast laps enough to be in third. So we'll take it. I think that's 3 third-place finishes on the year or something like that. So
yeah, your fourth top 5 in 5 races.
Yeah, it sucks, man. I can't win, dude. But I might not be as flashy as some of these guys, but that's what it takes to in this point system to kind of chip away at it. I know Cable gained a little bit on the lead there, but if you can just keep putting solid days together, eventually you'll find yourself up there.
Yeah, absolutely. But and you've done that almost better than anybody in terms of consistency and getting these top fives, podiums. So you put yourself in a really good position. You're right in the mix for a championship this season.
Yeah, hopefully one of these days we'll be in a position to win one of these things. But like I said, right now we're just chipping away at it and doing some work. We work hard and we see where it gets us.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, guys. Solid team result as well, 2-3. Nothing to hang your heads about, and we'll let you get any shout-outs in if you have any.
I just want to shout out team owner Mason Parker. He's the reason we drive fast, and I want to shout out a couple curbs there I hit that about wrecked me, but they didn't get me. So we're doing good, and shout out to Michael for putting this league together, and y'all for broadcasting. Appreciate you, boys.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again, fellas. We'll see you next week.
See
you, dude.
Here with the YJ Media Motorsports gang, Casey Brown, Jonathan Schwartz, Ryan Tiller, Randy Arms ran off somewhere. But what's the takeaway from the right turns here tonight?
I like going left.
Definitely. Let's see who led us home. That was Randy in 6th place. You finished right where you started. So.
Yeah. Had a pretty clean race, I guess you'd say. Felt like I read the back bumper of, or say Alex's car the whole race.
In the entire second half of the race, at least, you were just about half second there, just kind of following him around.
Yeah. Tried to pit early that last time to not to take as much fuel and jump him, but then he kind of took my strategy once he saw me pit, so that didn't work out. So yeah, just was just really hoping he would mess up. We were so even that just I needed him to make a mistake, and that just never happened. So we'll take a 6th.
Yeah, he was one of 3 drivers that did not go off the track once tonight. So
yeah, I know. All every lap.
For sure, but a solid 6th place, and you got the token road course out of the way, the right turns out of the way early. So and move on to more. Yeah.
Yep.
And then next up, Ryan Tiller, top 10 at a road course. Very impressive.
Yeah. Put in a lot of actually off-season work for road courses in general, racing GT3 cars and things like that. And just wanted to make a concentrated effort to step up my road game because it's a very distinguished style of racing, and I feel like I could take advantage and, don't know about a win, but, very solid finishes as we kind of proved here. I don't know how many races into the season we are, but I think this is a continuation of top 10s. No, it's not, because Kansas, or not Kansas, whatever I missed the freaking pit road at. Never mind. I lie.
But nevertheless, definitely the work has paid off for sure, and a solid finish. This isn't meant to be belittling whatsoever. You were the first driver 2 laps down, but you finished 10th in a field of 31, so clearly you got some good speed. But it's just those other guys at the front, Bowers and McClenny, it's just like, what planet are they from that they're just doing this stuff?
It honestly just shows experience and how long they've been on here, as well as their preparation for road courses. I've only been doing actually racing road courses for probably a total of 6 months, so I'm just trying to get better at it and hone in a craft that I feel obviously, like I said, is there. So.
Hey, absolutely, but a well-deserved finish and just keeping it clean and consistent, and reward with another top 10.
That's all I can do.
Absolutely. Casey Brown, you were the biggest mover tonight. You went from 27th to 16th. Try to keep it as clean as you could, I imagine.
Yeah, I don't think we really kept it that clean. I think we had off-road a few times more than not, but I guess I won something tonight, the biggest mover. It seems like I can never qualify in these next-gen cars, but this is next-gen, sorry. But yeah, we'll take it home 16th. Not very good at road courses, but just trying to learn, be patient, give what the car gives me, and we'll move on to next week.
Absolutely. And then Jonathan Schwartz, we panned you at one point, and the whole front clip was missing. It says you were only off track one time. I imagine it was a big one then.
Yeah, I made the blooper reel there. I forgot that there was a curve on pit road.
Oh.
I hit the pit wall.
Oh no.
So, yeah, I was looking at my black boxes trying to figure out the fuel and just smacked it without even paying attention. So, yep, just a bad mistake on my part.
Fair enough. At least you finished the race. Kept going.
Yep, gained a couple spots there at the end, so it was okay.
Absolutely. Well, appreciate the effort every week, fellas. I know it's not the easiest thing to turn right, but you guys handled it admirably, and look forward to seeing you guys back on the left turns next week. We head to, I believe, Pocono. So, Tricky Triangle next up.
Yep, just trying to make it proud, Dad.
Absolutely, fellas. Well, take care. We'll see y'all next week.
All right, see ya.
Thanks.
Here with the TGR boys, and they follow each other home. Devin Galvin 14th, Andrew Tenold 15th.
Yeah, pretty good night.
No, it wasn't.
So, I will say this. You did hit the 20s. Thank you. You were on 19X with 1 to go. You did get 20 off tracks, so I appreciate that. Nice even round number there, Devin.
Yep.
But you still got 14th, so it's like, hey, wait a minute. If I just go off the track, even 10 times rather than 20, you probably look at that top 10 tonight.
Yeah, and that was my big problem. Is for the it was definitely for the most part. It was just I was like clipping the grass coming out of or the dirt coming out of 3 and 4, but the last 2 laps I was running 11th. I could have kept it there, but just some stupid mistakes. I ended up spinning it around twice in the last 2 laps and cost me 3 spots. And I'm just aggravated with myself tonight, and I know I could have done better than that.
Yeah. I know the pre-race show mentioned it, and then me and Art obviously talked about it. Just these tracks specifically, consistency rather than raw speed kind of plays into a little bit of
Absolutely.
It plays a big hand right here.
Absolutely, and that's something I need to work on more than anything with these road courses.
Yeah, definitely. And then at Tenold, I know we've talked. Every time we come to these, it's just like the last thing you want to do. Trying to work on it as best you can, but a top 15 definitely a step in the right direction for you.
Oh, definitely. I really didn't think that I was going to be able to pull anything out of my rear end today, especially it being a road course. I was honestly dreading the race all day. I hate road course racing, but somehow, some way, we salvaged the top 15. Big shout out to everyone at TGR for coming together and working on this next gen program. I know these cars can be a real SOB to drive, but yeah, kudos to the team for sticking their necks out and being the best team.
Yeah,
this is probably the worst interview ever that I've ever given. I'm trying to text and do this.
No worries. And then I know you had Perrin up there at one point. He's always got good speed, but he had the connection issues, so not able to finish it out.
Yeah.
But you had good speed for what it's worth for a road course.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Shout out to Perrin also for racing with a huge migraine. He said all day he had a huge headache, so kudos to that guy. I know if I had a migraine like that, you would not have seen me tonight.
Yeah, especially road course where it's so much concentration, or lap after lap, corner after corner, trying to string them together. But he'll get a couple of points out of it. He's got a strong start to the season from the first 4 races, so he'll be okay.
Definitely, yeah. We're definitely all of us are heading in the right direction. It's just small puzzle pieces that we gotta figure out how to glue together. So,
absolutely. Well, always a pleasure, fellas, and look forward to seeing you next week at the Tricky Triangle of Pocono.
Oh man, another track that I don't want to go to.
my former home track, but I've moved recently, so not anymore.
Devin, your home track sucks.
Fair enough.
You say that because you're slow.
But looking forward to it. Always a pleasure, fellas. We'll see you at Pocono.
For sure. I'll see you later, legend.
Unfortunate time for Max to join.
Oh, hello. Speak of the devil, and he will show up here with one of the most consistent teams of all time, TTSL Motorsports. Kyle Ritchie, 4th. Alex Chira, 5th. Dylan Felovich, 7th. A absolutely solid night for the team. The pinnacle of consistency. Yeah, 2 of you didn't even go off the racetrack once tonight. You were 2 out of 3.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, Kyle, you let him home tonight. We'll let you go first.
Yeah, this might be the first race all year that I haven't had a run-in with anybody. So I think we're going to take that as a win as is. And the fact that we finished 4th with, being a second off, half a second off of Cabe is a win for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of a boring race, fourth place. You had a little bit of time on Alex and just a little bit behind fillers, so you kind of just I'll just take fourth place. I'll just sit here. No, I'm getting fourth long. I keep on the track, and that's what you did.
Yeah, we needed a good points day, and today was the perfect day for it.
Alex, you started seventh, finished fifth, and you just tantalizingly led Randy Arms around this racetrack, gave him the grand tour for the second half of the race.
Yeah, man, I just let him stare at that TTSL sticker on the back of my car all night. Oh, I'm absolutely I'm really happy with this result. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I mean, I feel like road courses are usually kind of my strong suit, and I'll take running top 5 all night. I thought I had a great race tonight. It's just a lot of fun, man. I put more practice into it again, which I think I'm seeing a little trend here where I actually put practice in.
You
I
put
get a
the
little
results
speed
in,
going.
you put the time in, and the results follow. How about that?
Yeah, it's definitely been helping out. I needed this points day. Obviously, I think we've been getting a little bit better every week. If Bristol didn't happen, then I feel like I could be a bit higher up in the points. But I'll gladly take today's points.
We don't talk about Bristol anymore.
We don't.
It's
I'm
done
just
and
gonna ignore
dusted.
my first
Post
lap.
race review. Yeah, no, don't talk about it. And then but solid night. And then Dylan Filvich, it's like, hey, he finished the lowest on the team. He got 7th. So
I was the anchor of TTSL Motorsports Racing. Wait, what did I say? That. I said the thing. The thing. It took a while. Look, we're a little discombobulated after this race. We had a good first half. The first pit stop, everything was going good. I got cleared by Randy. Like after a couple corners, Kyle pulled away. Then we settled into a rhythm. I feel like every time I would check the relative every couple laps, and Kyle would be exactly 4.2. So I was like, oh, this should be a good finish. Could be a good race. Came to the pits. Apparently overshot my box, even though I never had to back up. So that was nice. And then it just all went downhill from there. I just couldn't put any laps consistently together. I went off track like twice, got it once, and then I missed like every damn corner after that.
Yeah, but
normally I'm decent at road courses, but like today, the other two were the focus point.
Fair enough, but I guess if you're the anchor in 7th,
that's
not the
not bad
worst
actually.
Night. Yeah, definitely solid points night for the team.
Yeah, I'll take a points day, and I don't hate running the next couple of tracks. So, I hate the tracks, but I don't hate running them.
Fair enough, but always a pleasure, fellas. Solid night, very consistent, and well-deserved finishes for all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
All right, let's see here. I'll do it. Am I Corby, go ask if I'm free to go up there. Or something.
You're not free to go up there.
Not free to go up there?
Not free to go up there.
You're fine. Go up there.
No.
But he said he races
back markers. How we doing?
Oh, hey.
Hey, yo.
Well,
Quit saying all those words.
The back half of the field. How was our road course? Company mandated road course. Yeah.
Awful.
I was out there kind of like refereeing, making sure everybody was playing nice.
I was
talking to
Randy.
Randy.
Make sure that everybody else felt nice.
There was like
so I went and got some wine.
There was literally like one incident that was maybe anything, but the rest of it was just kind of like la-di-da. We're just gonna go mow some grass, and it is what it is.
There's grass here.
There was no grass.
Well, not after y'all got done with it.
I'm gonna build a sandcastle.
What did Bowers say? The homeless people pissed on all of it or something?
Oh,
yeah. He said that on the stream?
Oh, no. I was told not to come in here, but maybe they were. I'm just kidding. But
we always do.
Yeah, it's always good stuff.
We're doing race review right now, but there's nothing to review because we have no yellows.
Yeah, McElroy top 20, Kevin Bowley top. I'm just trying to look at the CMS. CMS's opinion on road courses is very evident, so you do what you can, right?
Yeah.
William Bowen actually 17th. How about that? He started right where he finished. So I think you lead the contingent home tonight.
Survive.
That's all it is, right?
Yep. So,
it was. Thanks to. I want to shout out Cabe and Bowers and Fillers and pretty much the entire top 7. If they didn't lap me 4 times, I would not have been able to make this a one-stopper. And so
it played into your strategy.
Probably the only car out there that made it a one-stopper
race.
race.
Oh man. Yeah, you take what you can get, right? But I will admit, you guys were pleasantly wonderful to be lapped. Very nice, respectful lap cars. You did a nice job of that. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Did you catch the fire on the backstretch?
Fire?
Shut the fuck up.
No, I didn't catch the fire. I did see. I did see.
Tinder may or may not have been on fire on the backstretch.
Man, I saw Matt Freddy blow up on literally the last lap. That was funny. That's about it, though.
Poor guy. Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah, he blew up and got ninth. So if you're gonna
Who
do
was
it,
in the mountains? I saw that on the broadcast.
that
for a split second.
was Frady, I believe. So
Was that Frady?
Well, it's funny. He was in eighth, went through the mountains, still was eighth, and then on the last lap wrecked and blew his engine, and then fell back to ninth. So like, not a huge loss. But yeah,
Blew his engine, still beat me. Good job, Frady.
he just waited to the last lap to do it, so he got very lucky. But yeah, interesting race. Pretty harmless, all things considered. And yeah, company mandated road course training is now over. We'll return to regularly scheduled programming next week.
Thank God.
No, Pocono is not regular scheduled.
Pocono's
That
all
is
right.
regular
Come
Pocono's
on.
fun.
Are we Pocono or Texas next week?
Pocono.
Tricky triangle.
I sent you a list of tracks and the order to put them in, and then you had to do fucking something different every
Whoa.
goddamn time.
-4.
Hey, we're live.
-4. Hate to see it.
What did I say?
Definitely.
What did I
-4.
say?
All right, fellas, I'll let you get to your race reviews.
You're gonna penalize me? He
Hey,
makes
Max,
this
hold on.
goofy schedule, and you're gonna penalize me.
I will say we're going to open up. We're gluttons for charity, so we're going to open it up to. If I'm ever getting laughed again, the first $100 donation, I'll take out the leader.
Oh,
So I'll take it
jeez.
from this point forward.
Oh.
It's first person. Please don't. Please don't. I will not do that.
Oh, man. All right.
Tuner, you'll do it.
I may.
All right.
Thanks,
fellas.
Max.
Yep. You'll have a good one.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
That's just a wild recap right there, if I'm honest. Back markers are wild. Let's be real. That's just different. Fair play to him though. Fair play. Cora Bernard, any final thoughts from Sonoma wine country? Get yourself a little wine on the way out of here.
We need to start penalizing the top two, top three. Make it
Start-
closer.
Make them start
Start
a lap
penalizing.
behind.
Honestly, start penalizing people for bad rejoins.
I
Some
didn't.
terrible ones.
I didn't see
I like all
anything
of them.
too difficult, but you know.
Let me pick the winner every time.
I will say a big shout out to that's a good result for Nick Sipple, Matt Frady, Tiller. I'd say Casey Herring, probably the underrated performance of the night, being called in. It's like, hey, you want to race a road course with about 5 minutes of preparation time? I think he did pretty good. And yeah, pleasure to everyone that finished. I know it's not easy, but here are the final race results. 7 cars finished on the lead lap, all the way down. I think Shorts finished. Kale did not. Pinder blew an engine. So we had 22 cars that finished this thing tonight out of 30. Jeffrey Rudick did not start the race. Brandon French only did 2 laps. Von Henschel, Pendergrass, DeLeon all had various issues. I think Von Henschel was blinking. So yeah, but they'll look to rebound next week. Different style of racing, back to kind of what they're used to. So. But yeah, that'll do it from us here tonight. We'll be back next Monday night, race 6. So we head to the midway point of the season, Tricky Triangle, and we head to the Pocono Mountains. So looking forward to it. You'll have a great week. We'll see you next Monday night.